never done this before, so let's see if it's working. Alright, so what is going on, guys? Apologize in advance for my absence, and I've been trying to keep this podcast alive, but anyway, so last year I did a top 10 expectations for WWE in 2016. So now to continue that, I want to do a top 10 expectations / predictions for WWE in 2017. I apologize if I'm like taking a while to finish a sentence. It's just that I'm hearing like this delay in my playback quality. It's kind of annoying, and when I figure out how to finish that, we'll be in the clear. But anyway, so let's start out with last year's expectations. If you don't know what I'm talking about, well, the reason for that is because I lost my video for last year. YouTube took it down because of copyright. So I'll try my best to fall under fair use this time around. So 10 expectations was John Cena putting over younger talent, Dean Ambrose winning the WWE title, character progression for Becky Lynch, Sami Zayn getting called up, return of the women's title, better storylines, SmackDown to go live, Byron Saxton getting released, return of the draft, and Undertaker's retirement and Hall of Fame. So, of those 10, I got about 6.5. With the better storylines, I think they got better in terms of, continuity. But, I'm sort of half right, because for every good storyline, there were some that were pretty bad. None that I could say that were terrible, at least not in my opinion, but just, there were some that were bad, and you're always going to get that. So, anyway, let's get to the new top 10 for this year, or, well, next year, whatever. More screen time for lesser showcased women on Raw and SmackDown. So, girls like Naomi, Summer Rae, I think those two are really underrated talents. Summer Rae especially. I know people give a lot of praise to Naomi because of how good she is, and she is good. But some people don't give Summer Rae that credit, which she deserves. So, sticking up for her, I would like to see those two get in some storyline. Next. Number 9, we got Asuka being called up. If it isn't proven as to why she isn't getting called up, I don't know what to say. You might as well release her, because there's not much she could do on NXT now, except for maybe beat the rest of the younger talent, which she already has. I guess she could face Mandy Sachs is her name, and Ember Moon, and that's about it, because there's not many other people she can beat or face. She already tapped out Aaliyah. She tapped Liv Morgan in like less than 5 minutes, and wasn't even to her finisher. So that just goes to show Asuka is a dominant force and deserves to be on the main roster, because I want to see her wrestle against Becky Lynch. I want to see her wrestle against Alexa Bliss, which I do know they both have already had a match, but neither one of them were televised. So yeah, that would be pretty cool. Which I'll get into that a little later. Next, where you got Nakamura versus Styles at WrestleMania. They had a match at New Japan, and WWE would be stupid not to have this match, especially when you're going to have a smart crowd like WrestleMania always does. People know how impressive their first match was. Now, have them give a money match, a 5-star match, give them, 20, 25 minutes, and they will rock the house. I guarantee it, because they did it the first time around. So, give these people and myself a New Japan Pro Wrestling match, and we're golden. Number 7. Dolph Ziggler getting the WWE title. Now, this is more of a prediction than an expectation, but it's still an expectation nonetheless, because he has been doing quite the amount of work, and you can always make the case for everyone else who's been putting in that work. But Dolph Ziggler has been there since 2009, 2008, and even before then, since 2004. There is no reason for him not to get that belt. Just let him get that carrot, so that it could satisfy a lot of fans. Like Sami Zayn is a guy who deserves a belt. And I'm not one to say this person deserves that or this person doesn't deserve that, but I'm just telling it like it is. Dolph Ziggler, he should be getting that belt pretty soon. Number 6. Sami Zayn getting called up to the main event status. So Sami Zayn is one guy who has been in the mid card, and it's been a disappointment to me, because when you look at what he did in NXT, he's been having 5-star matches. He's been considered the heart and soul of NXT, but then again, you look at what they did with Adrian Neville, or now Neville. It's mind-boggling to me. So I think it's time for Sami Zayn to get that main event status, and start having some top-tier rivalries. Who wouldn't want to see Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens, which we already have, but who wouldn't want to see it? Next we got, if we move into SmackDown, we got him versus Dean Ambrose, him versus John Cena, which they had one on Raw, and that rocked the house. So if you play this narrative of babyface versus babyface, you got a potential pass the torch storyline where John Cena passes the torch to Sami Zayn at WrestleMania or something. That would be pretty cool. You got Sami Zayn versus Dolph Ziggler. Now getting back to Raw, you got Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins, which we've had a few times. You got quite the amount of ideas for Sami Zayn, and it's crazy to me they haven't done this yet. So I'm expecting Sami Zayn does get something like that. Number 5. Tyler Breeze getting called up to the mid-card status. Now, honestly, I would say main event status, but you see where he's at right now, and if you jump into the main event, it just won't be believable in terms of continuity. At least when Dean Ambrose made that jump in 2015, he was still in the mid-card. So when he got added to that Fatal 4-Way stipulation, he started opening a lot of eyes or a lot more eyes to the fact that he should be in the main event. So I think you give Tyler Breeze a slow build, because right now he does have a bit of a following. I remember there was an episode on a SmackDown where they were having that Battle Royal not too long ago. Crowds were chanting, Breeze deserves it. So there you go. You got a little bit of a following. So first you break him up with Breezango. That's what I would do. So I would break up him and Breezango, have them get a program together where they have a match. Fandango puts over Tyler Breeze, and Tyler Breeze just goes up from there. He works mid-card programs with whoever, you know. I like his program with Dolph Ziggler. I like the match anyway. The storyline, not so much. But you got potential. Number 4. Bray Wyatt getting to the main event status. So, I guess this will be the year of who I pull for. So, Bray Wyatt. He has been dealing with crap for the past 3 years, and it's time. It's time he gets that main event. After you put him in that program with Randy Orton, after you finish the program, now I'm predicting that Bray Wyatt will get that win over Randy Orton. That'll only be the start from there, and then after that, you put him into main event storylines. You have him work with Ziggler, you have him work with Styles, you have him work with whoever, and you just have him win some matches here. Now, I don't believe he's a guy who needs that belt. He doesn't need the WWE belt, at least not in my opinion, because if you put him in the right story, you could give him that Undertaker mystique, or that Bray Wyatt mystique to differentiate. Because here's the thing, Bray Wyatt, when he started, he was red hot. He had his own mystique, like different to Undertaker, and I would believe that he could have actually beaten Undertaker had he not been put in storylines where he was just taking loss after loss after loss after loss after loss after loss after loss, like he did leading up to WrestleMania 32 or 31. So I think Bray Wyatt is another guy who deserves some props. Number 3. Carlito returning to the WWE. Now, I have said this every single year, and I will say it until it actually happens. Carlito will return at the Royal Rumble and do some stuff. I don't know. I just want to see the guy back. I love Carlito, and I would be damned if he never comes back to WWE. Number 2.
Of people who don't want to be cool.
The Undertaker retires and Hall of Fame. So, I said this last year, the man has worked 25 years, 26 now, and I get that for the tail end of his year, he's been working for the most part 1 match a year, but there is no denying the longevity in the guy. He can still go, admittedly not like he used to, but he could still go. He could still put on some great matches. I loved Brock Lesnar versus Undertaker at SummerSlam. I loved Taker versus Shane. So, you know, it just you got some stuff from there, and I think when you have that John Cena versus John Cena versus Taker match, which is rumored to happen, and I think will happen. You know, it could be his last his last match, and I think that would make sense. So you have him ride off into the sunset, and you have him retire in peace. That's what I would do. And you know, even though it's not Undertaker versus AJ Styles, or Undertaker versus Finn Balor, or you know, somebody else who could use that rub, it's still a money match, and why not? So I'm giving the okay on that. And even if I didn't, it's not like they wouldn't do it. So yeah. Alright, number 1. Big dream matches. So the rumored matches such as Styles versus Taker to happen, Lesnar versus Kevin Owens. I think this could be a big year for big matches to happen this year that could be good. You know, I think we could see Lesnar versus Samoa Joe. We could see John Cena versus Samoa Joe. John Cena versus Sami Zayn. Austin Aries versus Sami Zayn. Dean Ambrose versus Austin Aries. Nakamura versus Cena. You got so many options this year because of the roster that they have. You know, another one that is supposed to happen at Royal Rumble, which is rumored, Styles versus Taker. You know, there's so many fantasy matches you guys could doing this year, and I think this is the year to capitalize on that, because you got big money matches that could happen. Asuka versus Becky Lynch is one I mentioned earlier. Asuka versus Charlotte. Maybe if you have an NXT showcase match, you could have Charlotte versus Ember Moon or something. You know, that would be pretty cool. Yeah. So I think you do all that, you got quite the year. So that caps off my top 10 expectations. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a little longer than it should have been, but hey, what are you gonna do? Alright.